right, let us know if we've got audio now. Welcome back to the live stream. Sorry about before. I didn't have my phantom power button in, it appeared. So, yeah, the audio should all be working now. We should be in business. Thanks to those who joined in the live stream last night. I went live until after midnight, my time. I was pretty exhausted and tired from getting a really bad sunburn on my head. So I thought we'd do it again. Jamal was first in before. So welcome back, mate. It was great to meet you this year. So, yeah, hopefully if I'm ever in Texas again, we can catch up. Thanks again for coming down to Southpaw. We've got Ramal. Welcome, mate. He says he can hear you. All right, awesome. Thank you, guys. That's awesome. We're back again. Yeah, my vibe last night was pretty tired, so I thought I'd try a live stream at a time that should be better for everybody. It's 11 a.m. here. So we're back in the seat. I got my guitar tuned this time. Unlike last night, playing through the PV Bandit on the clean channel back here. So hopefully that sounds okay. I get my fingers moving again. I've had a few weeks off, actually practicing or playing properly. And I think as I've started sort of like doing some weights again, it's taken my hands a little while to kind of feel loose the next day. Like I trained yesterday and yeah, my hands are still pretty stiff, but it'll get there. You get used to it after a little while. There's the room sound. That's exactly right, mate. And I think you're going to hear that more coming up is my idea. 100%. Porkchop says, regarding the 410 PV amp, any reason you don't play it as much as you like? I just don't gig much, man. And it's a big amp. Like it's just a big, great sounding, it's the best sounding amp, 2-channel amp I've had. It's really impressive, but I don't get to use it at its sweet spot that much. It's fatiguing in a room trying to just play that loud. So, and it's heavy. I knew these things going into it. Part of me's sort of thinking maybe I should hold on to it and move something else. So there's that possibility as well. I love my Blues Deluxe, but I'm at the same time a little bit sort of getting bored of that. So maybe I'll keep the PV instead. But the Blues Deluxe has been such a workhorse for like the last 15 years or however long I've had it. I've had it a long time now, and it's a great amp. I had 2 of them, so I think going back, a while. Yeah, I don't know how long I've had both of them in duration, but I bought one, had it for a long time, sold it, regretted it, and got this one that I've got now, and it's been great. But it's more just a size and weight thing. I feel like it's overkill. It takes up a lot of floor space. It's nothing necessarily in terms of there's no real problem with it. It's great. I used it in the other room the other night, and it sounded friggin' awesome. All right. Let me just have a look at something real quick. I'm getting some sort of stream health thing. I might just have to make a quick adjustment here. Anyway, if it's working, it's working. I think I'm streaming with too much data, which is rare for Australia. Anyway, it's all good. It should be fine. If there's any glitches or whatever, just let us know. Try a Marshall Vintage Modern. Did I try those? Let's have a look. I can't remember if I did or not. No, I didn't. I didn't actually try those. So yeah, very cool. Yeah, Marshall. I mean, I've already got a Marshall. The Marshall DSL 40CR is pretty much as good as it gets for what I like. It's got a great clean. It's got a great dirty channel. It kind of does it all. So yeah, for me, that's great. I did have one of those Marshall JTM Studio Mark IIs, which was killer. But again, it wasn't really my kind of sound for what I do. I like the portability of combos and all that kind of stuff. I don't think I'll probably potentially ever get like another sort of head and cab combo. I'm lazy. All right. Will Wellington says he needs another Bandit. Get one, man. If you can find one cheap, do it. Put a Texas Heat in there and you'll be laughing. All right, let me go up the chat here. Favorite blues breaker pedals or clones? That's a good question because there's actually there's plenty of them, but I think the best blues breaker style pedal would definitely be the Origin Effects one, the Blue Halcyon or the Halcyon Blue Overdrive. That's great. Another great one is the one I reviewed recently, that Warm Audio dual pedal. Name the King of Tone, was it? No, not King of Tone, the Throne of Tone. That's a great pedal. You can find that in my pedals playlist. By the way, that's something I actually want to show you. So for those interested, let me see if I can do this. Will this work? All right, so if you go into the, how can I do this? Let's, is it going to let me do it? There was a way for me to, it's always the way. Oh, here we go. Sorry, guys, far out. If you go into the playlists here, there's a new playlist. Basically, here we go, found it. If you go here, you can find everything way better organized. I had something like 250 playlists. I've literally just consolidated them down to making things easier to find. So if it's a pedal, it'll be in here. 524 videos, and that's not all of them, by the way. That's crazy. But yeah, you can find all the pedals here. All the Jerry's Lefty Guitars ones in this playlist now. All of my guitar reviews or most of them are in here. I don't think it's all of them. I've done way more than 155. But I've started sort of like making things easier to find. I need to spend some time next month and basically put everything in the proper order. But yeah, you should be able to find things a lot easier. It's something that I accidentally, while I was doing this, it took me hours, it took me a few days. I accidentally deleted a few videos by accident thinking they were playlists. So that's why I ended up having to re-upload a few recently. But yeah, anyway, I'll just go back to the chat. Can I? Oh yeah. Does this? What does this do? Does that allow me to put that on the screen? Sorry, I'm just fiddling around here. Oh, that's a super chat from Shawnee. Sean, thanks, man. Shawnee Y is a Cubs fan. Is that Cubs fan 1? Man, why the username so confusing? Hey, thank you, mate. I appreciate it. He says, hi from Chicago. Have you tried a Marshall Vintage Modern? I'd love for Marshall to bring to the Studio Series. It's got a KT66 tubes. No, I don't think I have. I can probably get those though on loan. So stay tuned for that. Sky Music have a whole lot of Marshalls. I think they've got like almost all of them. So yeah, when I get back, I might try a few more amps. I think next year I'm going to be doing way less pedals just across the board, unless it's really something specific. I'm going to do more amps when I do reviews, but I'm also going to cut back on anything that I don't think is worth my time anymore. I feel like I've done so many reviews that it's time for a change. I said this last night, the direction of the channel is going to completely change in 26. It's time I just need it for growth, for personal growth. And I think everyone's sick of stuff. And I know I'm starting to get a bit like that as well. I just want to simplify everything on the channel in terms of, the gear that I have. I want to downsize all my stuff. And, the things I will test will be more like amps and guitars rather than effects and all that kind of stuff. But hey, mate, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that. And while I haven't tested that one, I'll keep an eye out for it. And if I can grab it, I will. Hey, we've got a new member. Welcome. Josh, thank you, mate. I appreciate that. Cheers. Thanks for supporting the channel. I just put some behind the scenes stuff up. I don't do a whole lot of like super exclusive videos for members because the general public and subscribers support the show just by watching the channel. So I generally have everything available to everybody, but I do post some behind the scenes stuff on the feed and also just occasional like videos as well. So thank you, mate. That's awesome. All right, we've got Daniel Taylor here as well. Thank you, mate. This chat box I'm looking at here has changed. So bear with me. It updated the other day. So I think I'm a little bit out of touch with the software here. Anyway, I'm sorry I can't put messages on the screen, but it is what it is. Hey, I think we had Claudio here as well. Welcome, man. I think I saw a message from you just pop up, and it's weird. Sometimes the chat doesn't always stay consistent here, but I hope you're doing well, mate. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. DSL are awesome amps, 100%. They do basically everything. It's probably one of the most versatile amps that you can play without pedals and get almost any kind of sound. It really is great. Hun 36 Solo says, playing my Studio Pro 112 Red Stripe. Awesome amp. They're great. Well done. That's awesome. How's the weather here, Shane? I just got over an ice storm. Man, I got sunburnt yesterday. My head is like red raw still from it yesterday. I had 50 plus sunscreen on. The UV was crazy yesterday. It's not super hot here at the moment. We had a hot week, or about 3 or 4 days. But it'll be getting hot again pretty soon. Next few days, I think. What's up, Shane and friends? Just left from a local guitar shop. Very cool, man. Danville Music. Cool. Yeah, the San Francisco guitar shops are really cool. I haven't been to that one, though, but I've been to many of them over the years. Great stuff. Post on Patreon like before you go live. Yeah, I should have done that. I apologize. I didn't actually notify anybody. I just went live. I figured most people, like, this is my thinking of it, if you've got notifications on, it should push something through, hopefully. But yeah, you're right. I definitely should have done that. Oh, they discontinued the Vintage Modern series back in 2013. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. All right. Yeah, I think for me, like, the DSL kind of ticks most of the boxes in terms of that Marshall thing. And I can get pretty good drive tones even out of the Bandit. What do I think about Tone City pedals? I mean, they were kind of unique and interesting when they first came out. I don't really like them as a brand in terms of like working with them. I kind of stopped doing that a long time ago. But they make affordable pedals that are good. They've obviously gone up a lot in price since they were first out, and I was the first to review them anywhere in the world. But yeah, in terms of quality, they're great. The guy that builds them is actually really good. He makes a lot of great stuff. He's a bit of a wizard. I think his name potentially was like Jason, or his English version of his name. But yeah, great builder. But yeah, I've sort of tuned out from them over the last few years. I'm sure they're still making great stuff. Greetings from Canada, Shane. Haven't catched one of your live streams in a long time. You know, it's been a while, other than the one I did, which was like late last night, just, you know, on a whim. I haven't been doing them anywhere near as much as I would like to. So that'll be changing hopefully in the new year too. I want to start doing these more. All right, let me just go down the chat. Dwight, welcome, mate. I hope you're doing well. He says, hope you have a great New Year's. I should do. I'm going to be over in Perth for New Year's, which will be great. So I'm looking forward to that. Hope you're doing well. Hope everyone has a good New Year's. Sammy Watts says, hey, Shane, I just saw your video of your visit to Southpaw Guitars. I'm still drooling over it here. Mate, it's well worth the trip. If you can do it, do it. I tried 3 times to get there. The third time I actually managed to get a trip that worked. The first time we were going to do this, I said this last night too, but we're going to do a road trip from Florida to Texas. It ended up the car had issues and stuff, so we couldn't make it. And the first time I lost my flights because of all that kind of stuff. And then we finally made it. So it was worth it. It was great. I would have in hindsight, I probably should have spent a second day there just filming, like doing all the playing. I tried to cram it all into one day and I didn't get to test as much stuff as I probably would have liked. But, odds are we'll probably be back doing some stuff in the States if it works out again. Yeah, I'll get down there again. But yeah, what a great store. Definitely worth checking out if you're a lefty. as I said in the video, it messes with my head as a lefty, knowing I can pick a guitar off the wall and play it and know that it's like I've got all these, there's 400 acoustic guitars there. So that's pretty cool. And I think, I can only imagine how that feels for right-handed players. Well, I know how it feels because I walk into a guitar store and most of them are righties, which I don't actually mind. It kind of keeps it simple for me. I don't necessarily get a whole lot of like option paralysis with guitars. I don't chase them as much as I think most people do who have 7 options in different colors and, all that kind of stuff. It's like I get that choice and that's it. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, I move on. But yeah, Sammy, if you get a chance, go check it out, man. It's awesome. All right. Roundman 1820 says, Shane, can you demo or review some orange amps in next year? I'll try my best, mate. No worries. I have showcased a few on the channel over the years, but only in a live mix, in those Keys to the Guitar Shop videos. So yeah, I can get those. They're no problems. I can borrow those from the store. My Elvis Viking 2 reissue I just got is the best guitar I've ever owned. Awesome. It's the best skinny neck, hollow body sunburst over 1,000 U. You need to check one out. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know that off the top of my head, but it sounds awesome. Hey, Retro Island Boy says, hey, how's it going? Been watching you for a long time. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you too. Happy New Year, all that kind of stuff. Thank you for the support. Jamal says, that little silver-faced Fender combo used at Southpaw was making noise when you were playing it. Was that the same problem you had with the one you bought a few years ago? No, that was actually something in the back of the cap. I think that it had the, like either a foot switch or a manual in there or something. Mine was farting in a different way. Like it was, you dig in and it would kind of glitch. And then I found out the power tube, I think it was faulty. It just stopped working essentially. So I took it back and I went to replace it and the other one had exactly the same problem. So I just returned it in the end. It was they're great sounding little amps, but yeah, you can only sort of push them to a point as well before I just don't trust the quality control on them as much as I would have liked to. It's a bit unfortunate. Eric Gales, yeah, and I've spoken about that before. I can't play righties upside down. If you're used to doing it and you learnt that way, it's normal. But if you're a natural lefty with and you've learnt on a left-handed guitar, like he's older than me, probably. I'm tipping anyway, so he probably learnt with righty guitars, whereas I didn't. I learnt with lefties, and I never wanted to switch it up for me because every time I've tried right-handed guitars, my arm forever rolls up and down the volume and tone controls. It's a real pain. West Palm here, working Boca. Very cool, man. That's a great part of the world. Well done. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining in. I'm grateful. Urgent video on the PRS Zach Myers guitar. I enjoy mine a lot. Man, I tell you what, that's a great guitar. That PRS Zach Myers was really surprising. I didn't know what to expect, actually. I didn't think it was going to be anywhere near as nice as it was, and it was phenomenal. So, yeah, well done. Great guitar. Rag Production says, hey there, Shane. When my students feel stagnant, not progressing, I get them to turn the guitar left-handed and try to play anything. When they turn it back, they're instantly inspired. Hey, that's a good move, mate. Well done. That's awesome. I think, I think the chat I'm looking at is not as good as the normal one. So I'm going to pop this normal chat out. One sec. So I can actually see it properly. These are all things I've got to remember to do ahead of time here. All right, there we go. So now I've actually got all the comments here. Yeah, I think you're right. I think even changing guitars can sometimes make you play differently. You go from a Strat and you're into, doing those kind of things, and then you play a 3-3-5, makes you sort of want to do some different stuff. Here's a good question. Daniel says, what's the most disappointing gear product you've ever bought for yourself? I was on a poor streak of buying disappointing gear recently. Man, that's a good question. Well, one of the worst things that was super expensive was the Two Rock Studio Pro 35. I took it home and it was so rattly and noisy and it was horrible. And this is how stupid I was. I had a Studio Pro 22. I sold it because I thought, I don't like it as much as my Supersonic 60, and I still stand by that. I think the Supersonic 60 was better. And then I kind of felt like, oh, what did I do that for? And they had a Studio Pro 35 combo, which was an easier thing to manage than the head and box. So I picked it up. It was a great deal. I got it back, and it was clearly like faulty. I've got a lot of examples of things that just haven't worked, and I'm losing less confidence in brands in general if it's a piece of electronics. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I've had plenty of amps that I've just gone, what have I done? Like the Egnator Rebel 30, I think it was the Rebel 30, was a great head, but the box was the worst decision I ever made. That cab that they had was crap. Now, if I'd have had another cab and I put it on there, and it would have been fine, but that would bottom out like nobody's business. Actually, that's probably the worst thing I ever bought, that Egnator cab. It was terrible. It rattled, the handles buzzed everywhere, and it was I know it's a cab, but it was the boxiest sounding thing I've ever heard. Like a Blues Junior just sounded like infinitely better. Again, I think the cab is the weak spot for those. That's definitely top of mind for one of the worst things I've ever purchased. I mean, I've been through so many amps. I said this on my last live stream. I probably owned 40 amps. And that Egnator cab was right at the top of the worst of the worst. I haven't really made like lots of terrible decisions with guitars. I don't feel like I've made or had as much regret buying them as I have with some amplifiers over the years. And the thing with amps, one thing I learnt and that I used to recommend too was if you're buying an amplifier and you've got one you like, bring it with you, because you know how that amp sounds and you've got a good comparison, because in the mix, stuff can get buried. It really can. And if you play live, all amps aren't created equal. They're just not. So, yeah, I would say those two are two things that I definitely regret, or that were crap. Delray, my ass, lived in Boca. There you go. You know what? I was... one of the things I started doing more when I go places now, I buy T-shirts just for like souvenirs instead of buying like stuff I'm not going to use and just have it sit there. Delray's, I love Delray Beach. I reckon it's great. I used to follow a channel called the Delray Misfits back in the day, which you'll either know or you won't, but it's a bit of a hilarious old school YouTube channel. And I thought, I'm going to go there one day, and I finally got a chance to do it. It was great. This T-shirt's a few years old now, but yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, let me just scroll down here. Have you had any good luck on a Gibson Les Paul? No. If you're going to buy a Gibson, get an Epiphone, get a Tokai, get any Japanese-made guitar, or just, even an Eastman or something. Just invest in something that's a little bit better. I'm sure some people will feel like some of those are good, but they're just not going to be as good as the Epiphone current line. The new Epiphones are great. The Inspired by Gibson ones are great. You're better off spending your money in a better way, or even get like an ESP or something like that. Do you use a video switcher on your videos? I don't. I just do all the editing in post. The only time I use a switcher is if we're playing live. And like doing a jam or something like that, if that's an option, because it saves all the post-production and all the massive files. So I've got like an A10 Mini Pro. I've also got another one from OC, which is, not OC, it's, what's it called? I got a few of them. So the one that I've just been, hang on. I'll see if I can find the info here. Let me see if I can bring it up. The last switcher I reviewed was the, what's it called? Sorry, guys. It's a Cinetree Touch S. So that's what we used for the last jam session, and it was great. It worked really well. So yeah, the A10 Mini Pro is probably the easiest way to get into switching. If you need it to record everything, you can buy the ISO one. But yeah, they're all pretty similar these days, which is good. For this, I'm just using a webcam. That's funny. West Palm here, working Boca, very cool. Oh yeah, is that the same dude? Anyway, sorry guys. It's cold up here, far out. All right, hey, thank you, Frank. Much appreciated, mate. He says, followed you for years, US, Kansas-based, first time catching you live. Happy holidays. Happy holidays to you. We say Merry Christmas in Australia, or some of us still do. So, but yeah, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all that kind of stuff. I hope you have a great rest of the year. Thank you for the support too, mate. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Shane, is there a song or lick you learned that's still hard to play? Yeah, there's stuff I've never nailed that I think I'm close enough to, but I'm not. I never followed through with a lot of stuff. Yeah, that's the problem, I think, with like learning guitar. It's really easy to get distracted. You learn a piece of something, and then you decide that you want to learn something else, and you don't learn the rest of it. I'm guilty of that as well. But what I've started doing more so than just learning like songs, I just compartmentalize licks, and then I start experimenting around. So one of the licks I've been noodling around with on my videos is that little jazz bebop sort of thing. Now that took me ages to get, and I still can't play it as smooth as I'd like. But the idea with it is once you learn that, you can now start changing things up. Just making that change instead of. So you can start to mess around with, different runs to different notes. Or add an extra note. So I'm starting to think a little bit more about that. And that's really challenging because you have to hear it, but you also have to want to take chances with it as well. And for me, there's plenty of licks I play that I still don't have under my fingers as well as I would like, especially when I'm not playing as much. Like the last few weeks, I haven't been playing as much. And, all those sort of Chris Kane licks, those, see? All that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's getting there. You just got to keep moving. I think the plan for next year, not that it's a New Year's thing, I'm going to start doing that like ASAP. Well, I guess it's only a few days away, but maybe it will be a New Year's thing. I'm going to structure my day differently. So I want to, like as I've been doing the last few weeks, stretch or exercise, whatever, play guitar for a while before doing anything else. Just spend 30 minutes a day working on playing, have a guitar somewhere that's very easy for me to want to pick it up and play, and fall in love with playing again over just testing stuff. I really just need to dive into it. A couple of months back, I was really practicing. I learned so much stuff. Like I learned heaps of cool stuff. And then you go sort of into the gear world, and it almost felt like it took away from the playing for me. Like I love the stuff I play, but I'm saying just testing stuff. It's a different. I'm not there to play guitar. I'm there to showcase something, or I'm there to try to work out how something works. And to me, that's taking away from the experience. So I think the thing that will change next year is obviously the style of videos. You're going to see a whole lot of different things. We're in the process of planning something that hopefully will change the trajectory of the channel. But also, I just want to have less time with stuff. I really feel like that's where I'm going. But yeah, there's plenty of licks that I've been trying to play over the last few weeks that I still struggle with, and maybe in a live situation or the feel changes. Accenting certain notes, all that kind of stuff. Daniel says, have I been down to Nepean Music in Mornington? I haven't. No, I've got to go down there. I was actually thinking of that the other day. So when I get back from Perth, I might actually lock that in. I'll see if they're interested. I know Brett Kingman goes down there, so maybe I'll see if he can come down to something as well. That'd be cool. James says, happy holidays. You too, mate. I hope you're doing well. Thank you. Mr. D34 says, 4 years ago, I said to myself, F-tube, sold all my amps and bought a Boss Katana. I haven't looked back. Oh, that's great, man. It's whatever works for you. And this is the thing, right? Like, I feel like my PV Bandit could be the only amp I actually need. I know it sounds ridiculous because I tested and I've owned so much stuff. But it's true. I did a festival with that amp, and it was some of the best tone I've ever had. It really doesn't make that much of a difference. And we were talking about this last night where, like, on the live stream that's, like, unlisted now, that the gear, the amp, if it sounds good, it is good. The difference between the PV Bandit with a good speaker versus, like, a super expensive custom amp that's 10 times the price or whatever, there's not that much of a difference. As long as you can dial things in and you've got your sound sorted out. I can pretty much get the same sound out of anything now. And I hear that a lot in the comments. When did I start playing? What kind of guitar was it? So I actually learnt D, A, and E when I was a kid. I learned it sometime in primary school. It would have been around grade 6. And then I put the guitar down till the end of high school was when I started wanting to play again. I was learning, like, some of that U2 stuff. I can't even remember how it goes now, but all that sort of. I was a big fan of the Rattle and Hum album, so I learned a lot of that. And then I went to Michigan when I was 18, and I heard From the Cradle, and that was it. I wanted to play electric blues. And all these years later, I'm still inspired by that album. It's just great. Did I move again? I haven't moved. Well, I moved, 6-8 months ago or something like that, but I haven't moved again, no. I actually was living in a place. It was just too loud, and I knew pretty quickly it wasn't going to work out. So it was, as soon as I was able to, we moved here, and it's been great. This place is way better. It's way better. In terms of, like, for me, for what I do, I don't mean like it's a much better house. It's just like it's much quieter, minus when I make noise. After 40 years of playing, they're still hard to play. Yeah, man, I tell you what, it's one of those things, huh? You got to sort of attack it over time, and eventually things get easier. I remember when I first started playing Tore Down, I was playing it wrong for years. I didn't realize there's so much great stuff going on with the lead guitar parts on a lot of that From the Cradle album. It's a huge inspiration for me, but that first lick, I only really worked it out properly recently. My ears sometimes are better than at other points in time, but so yeah, that's it. whenever Anderson does a gear comparison video, you learn a lot of gear sounds the same. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think it's also who's playing it. That's the ingredient there. So the whole idea with like demoing something is to get a sound you like, but also experiment around and find sounds that are a bit out of your bag. At least that's been my experience with it. If you're just dialing in the sound you like, everything will sound the same. You can get basically the same tone out of almost everything. There's interaction differences between gear and how something will stack, how much gain you can get out of something, the mid frequency push and all that. But my friend Brian's a great example of this. He swaps all these pedals around all the time and he sounds the same. He just does. So there's convenience elements to it as well. He's now found a pedal solution that works and it's nice and simple. I've been using the same stuff on my pedal board for like 7 years for that very reason. I change something out, it basically sounds the same. If I'm playing a single pedal and I only want one, I'm taking the Royal Flush. If I want a boost, I've got a Klon or something similar to that before it. Occasionally I'll change delay pedals, but you're right. I've dialed it in so it works for me. And it's a convenience thing. And it's also how well they all stack. But yeah, I think a good video should showcase sounds outside of your wheelhouse, because if you're just dialing in the sound you like, it's kind of pointless. In that way, they will all sound the same. It's also the approach to playing that gives it a certain piece of gear the sound. So if you basically play with like, no attack, play something like that, it's not going to really sort of have any. It's not going to sound great really with another amp that's more expensive with a great clean tone. You've really got to start kind of pushing things around and seeing what you can get out of it. But yeah, I agree. I think most people know the sound that they like. And this is why when pedals come out now, I feel like most people are checked out because they kind of know what they like. If they hear something straight away that they like, they'll like it. And if they don't, they won't stick around, even though it's maybe capable of that. But I totally agree. Do I have a drummer as in a next door neighbor or something? No, my old house. No, I had so I bought a house like a couple of years back, and right after I got it, it was like within 2 weeks, they shut down a major road, right? So I had trucks now going past my house all day, and it doesn't sound that bad, right? But if you're trying to record, it's a nightmare. It was just horrible, like low frequency semi-trailers, cement trucks, and they were going into other development areas that were getting built. So they now were all routed past my house. I called the council. I said, "What's going on?" He goes, "Oh, yeah, that won't get any better before it gets worse." I said, "Thanks. I appreciate your honesty." So that was it. I got out of there. Man, that was the biggest kick in the guts ever. But I'm happy that it actually happened now, because it's opened up opportunities. I'm actually saving a whole lot more than I would if I kept that place. And yeah, everyone's situation is different. But for what I do, working for myself, renting here is a much better option. It also gives me the flexibility that I can now go, you know what, let's get out of here and go to Perth. From the Cradle is a great album. I haven't listened to it in a long time. One of Clapton's greatest albums. His best album and the number one selling album of all time for blues. I think it's still the case. It's so good. It's so like all of that stuff that he does, like that, just real tasty stuff. And, that Sinner's Prayer song, and I think it's called Sinner's Prayer. That I think, it's just the tones are killer. It's really cool. I think that's how that one goes. I could be wrong, but yeah, I love his version of what's it called? Have you ever been mistreated? You know what I'm talking about. That what's it called? 5 Long Years. Great version. From your current perspective and experience, which amp and guitar would you recommend today? Well, it really depends, man. Like, everyone likes different stuff. It sort of comes down to where you're playing and what you prefer and what you kind of value. I think, for most gigs I could get away with like an Artist Tweed Tone 20. It's great. It's 2 channels. It's light. It's loud as nobody's business. I think it sounds better than a Blues Junior. And it's like, you can use it without pedals. But if you want to play with pedals, you can get a Fender amp and plug in pedals and it's going to sound amazing. But same with the PV Bandit. There's no real one answer for that. It sort of comes down to, everybody's use case. I've had basically a lot of the amps I'd always wanted to try at some point. And I think there's a few. The ones that I've kept are the ones that I really think are, for me personally, suit my style. But yeah, the Marshall DSL stuff is really good. People say, oh, they're not that reliable. That was the old generation. I've never had mine serviced. It's been bulletproof. It's been absolutely bulletproof. But yeah, amps like a Hot Rod Deluxe are great if you're a pedal player, or a Fender Deluxe Reverb are also nice. They're probably getting a bit up in price these days. And I don't necessarily trust the QC as much as I did with Fender amps anymore. I feel like their older stuff, doesn't sound too cliche, will just way more reliable when it comes to valves and tubes and all that kind of thing. So yeah, I don't know. I think if an amp's older and it's still going strong, it's in good condition, you can't go wrong. That's my 2 cents on it. Shane should just use fuzz pedals for all his blues songs. Mate, I'm going to break out the what's it called? The Kernam Moho fuzz pedal pretty soon. I want to fire that up and see if I can get some live tones out of that. That'd be fun. Hardcore camping gear. Hardcore, man. What are your thoughts on the Spark 2? I haven't played it, so I can't really comment on it. I don't really know much about the Spark amps. The only one I've tried is that little mini one, the tiny guy, and that was actually pretty fun. It was surprisingly good. Have I played around with the Studio Pro 40? Is there a Studio Pro 40? I thought there was. I've had a Studio Pro 112. Is that what you mean? If it's a different one, then I haven't. Jerry White says the used market's so good now for all music gear in the UK. I'm surprised anyone buys anything new. Yeah, totally. You can get yourself such a great bargain. And the sad reality of it is, I just sold something yesterday or 2 days ago, and I had to put it at a price that made it devastating for me. But to get rid of it, it's a buyer's market is what I'm trying to say. So if you've got something that you want, find it used. You'll save yourself a fortune. I did a video about this recently about all the guitars that basically drop value in terms of price. I think almost everything is doing that at the moment. And the used market's definitely the place to shop. No questions about it. I'm using the foot switch on my Boss DS1 distortion pedal. The amp sounds great all by itself. Hey, very cool. The only other pedal I want to get is Crybaby. If you're going to get a Crybaby, I'll type it in. Check out this one. This is my favorite. It's not more expensive or anything. It's the one I've kept and used for years. I've had a few of them. I've tested all of them from Dunlop, basically. GCB 95F is the way to go. It's slightly more mellow sound on the highs. It's not as sort of like as ear piercing. I really like it if you're looking for a mellow tone. That's the one I use. Rag Production says, I bought a Artist Tweed Tone after watching a review. Great amp. I used pedals before the input. Sounds great. It's still just over $600 for a 20-watt tube amp. 100%. Thank you, mate. I'm glad to hear the positive feedback. I actually have another video coming up of the Artist very soon. It's super versatile even without pedals. It really is. You can get some great sounds, and I'm going to basically walk with, not you personally, but anyone who watches it through how to sort of dial that amp in, because you can get a lot out of it. So that's great. Well done, mate. Oh, the 40. Okay, yeah. Studio Pro 40. Yeah, okay. I don't know that one off the top of my head. It was teal, maybe. Okay. I wonder if that was the one I saw at that Rock and Robin guitars. There was 2 PV amps there. I kind of skipped the first one for some reason, and I looked at it and I went, oh, I don't recognize that. I wonder if that was that amp, because it had that same sort of teal stripe thing going on. Interesting. Am I still using the twin reverb tone master? I'm not, man. I sold that a long time ago. There's a dude who played rockabilly who wanted it for a big clean thing. I've never been like a huge fan of a twin as much as like super reverbs, deluxe reverbs, or, you know, basically most of the other Fender amps. They're not really my kind of sound. Not that the amp was bad or anything like that. It wasn't really like my preferred Fender sound. I think if I was to get a tone master, for me, I'd buy the super reverb. That's probably the ideal kind of thing. It's, you know, that could be a good amp too. You know, if I was to get something loud and light that's an alternative to my classic 50, that would be probably an amp high on my list. GRB Aquatics, welcome, mate. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining in. Bizarro Culture says, thanks, man. You're the reason I got the Marshall after seeing your vids. Hey, that's great. Thank you, man. No worries. You know, it's easy to get caught up in the trap of like wondering what's coming next. But I think what I'm seeing online, it might just be the algorithm pushing things towards me as well for my own benefit and also for my own detriment. But what I've noticed is people are getting sick of stuff. And it'll be really interesting to see if NAMM will have the same sort of, like, I always say this, same stuff with a new paint job, right? So, yeah, it's I kind of don't care as much about what's coming next, and the stuff you've probably got is all you really need, you know, when it comes to stuff. I saw a comment, and that's why I started talking about that. But yeah, anyway, if you've got a Marshall DSL 40. Whatever comes next will just be a different variation on that, or it might not be as good. It might not be for you. So I think focus on the playing and enjoy. Bizarro says, oh, here we go. I'm 44 years old. I'm joining band for the first time. I needed an amp that I could rely on. The Marshall is just great. That's a great amp for a live gig. You got the option for the 20 watt mode if you want it, or you can just rock out on 40. 40's like peels the paint off the walls, man. I love that amp. Get everything up to 12 o'clock on the channels. Man, it's killer. Hey, thank you, Daniel. Far out. He says, thought I'd donate after my earlier questions. Got a True Tone VSXO from Nepean Music. Very cool, mate. My friend Brian's got one of them. So cool. While you're in Mornington, try Meseta for a feed. Okay, thank you. That's great. Yeah, I'll shoot him an email. I actually haven't ever been down there even just to see the store. And I was down that way not long ago, like maybe 3 weeks ago. So, yeah, I'll get down there. That'll definitely be on the list of stores to check out. I won't be shooting an episode while I'm in Perth this year, but there'll be plans for something pretty cool coming up. And I'll definitely throw them into the list. So, yeah, that's great. Thank you, mate. Thanks for the support. I love the blues sound. Almost got a Fender blues-esque amp, but didn't like it would be versatile enough for practice and gigs. Okay. Bizarro says he switched from the Marshall from 20 watts to 40 watts for about 5 seconds and then went back. Yeah, well, I mean, it peels the paint off the walls. That's one of those combos that's loud enough for anywhere. I don't care where you're playing. I could use that on 40 watts at a festival. They wouldn't mic you up. It's full on. Warm Audio has built a lot of pedals lately. What do you think of the quality of the company? I would say they're, like, if I had to like grade it, I would say they're like between a 6.5 and an 8 in terms of build quality. It's sort of, some of their enclosures feel a little bit cheap and some of the plastic looks a little bit cheap. And then on other pedals, it looks great and it feels great. It's built like a tank. And then other pedals feel lighter than the pedals that they're sort of modeled off, which lends itself to the perception of it being less valuable or feeling cheaper or whatever. But they are cheaper than those too. So I think over, like, electronically and all the jacks and stuff feel fine. But yeah, I felt like the tube squealer, and I said this in my video, the tones are phenomenal. They just felt a little cheap. The plastic knobs and all that kind of stuff. And these aren't like necessarily issues. They're just where they've cut corners on it. But the Throne of Tone was built beautifully. Like that thing was in a whole different dimension. So that's probably the best built pedal out of all of them. The Klon that I reviewed was very good. I've kept that because I really like it. It looks like the real deal and it feels good. I've picked up one of those Klons before, and it's definitely still lighter in terms of its weight, but yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. Look, you know the old adage or whatever, you get what you pay for, but they're not super cheap, but they're not super expensive, and I think what you're getting is pretty good value overall. That's a good question. Actually, I'll just oh yeah, here we go. What's the best way to learn a solo beyond the pentatonic scale? Try and learn a lick that's, rather than learning scales, which is important, learn a lick that's actually something that will fit. You know, like I wanted to get out of playing like all that sort of stuff. So I honed in on an idea that was accenting different notes, you know. That's still in A. Yeah, so that's an idea there where you can learn a lick that emphasizes different notes, like sevenths, for example, or you can pick a lick out of like a BB King thing. I'll tell you what's a good thing that really works well too while we're doing this. So one thing I've been sort of thinking about more, and it messed with my head for a while, but if you're on the one, play some major stuff. So that's over the first chord, the A, which is basically you can play an F sharp minor scale as the major, right, for the one. When it goes to the 4, play your minor. Back to the 1. To the 5, to play B minor. So there's ways you can make it sound more interesting by playing what you already know, and that's a good way of sort of getting a feel for it as well. But spend some time listening to players who play outside of the straight up blues scale. Again, Guy King and Chris Kane, two of the best. Really like inspirational for me. All that stuff you've been hearing me play like over changes, like I'll do that. And when it goes to the 4, oh, that's, yeah, you just find these notes. It's kind of cool. Yeah, but just listen to other players and really just try to work it out, like little bits at a time, and try to incorporate. If you learn scales, it doesn't really translate over to musicality. Like I'll see people running scales and it doesn't sound good because it's like not really that musical. You got to kind of find things that work, or you can even pick, like, you know, one thing Ben was showing me was like you can pick, well, I do this anyway, but I didn't know why it worked. You can run notes down. So none of that is really a lot of that isn't in the scale, but you can hit all these notes that connect the dots, and that's a good thing to do as well. So if you're just stuck on pentatonic, you can look up the blues scale. It adds a few extra notes that are really nice, and yeah, give that a shot. All right, let me just have a quick look here. The older I get, the less concerned I am about what's coming out. I know what I like, and unless something is made that is both good quality and value, I'm not interested. Yeah, I feel exactly the same. I've felt this weird burden of having stuff that I want to completely remove myself from, and just focus on the good things, like the playing, enjoying the music, having fun, not being too concerned about, having a certain thing because it's cool or whatever. I just don't really care anymore. I'm at a place with my playing. If I can't make what I've got sound good, I suck. And I need to practice, and I need to find inspiration to make the playing sound a particular way or make it stand out or whatever. And I've felt like this for ages, where I've just wanted to basically go like minimalistic with my setup. And I've done that. I've already pulled out a few amps from this room. So the back line's 2 amps and a head. And I sold something the other day. And I plan on selling a whole bunch of stuff coming up. I really want to get rid of so much stuff. And yeah, I'll be doing that at some point, because I got cupboards full of stuff I'm not using. And it ends up sometimes just, it annoys me. I don't know what it is. I just don't want it all here. And it's a good problem to have in a way, because I can, I guess take some time to do it and move it on, and they can find a new home and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it will open up other opportunities for me to do things that I'm more passionate about as well. So that's funny. Bizarro says, my wife came home and saw the Marshall, says, wow, that's huge. Did they not have anything smaller? Nice. Daniel says, got an orange Micro Terror for Christmas, which is stupid loud for how small it is. Very cool. Not DSL 40 territory, but it's silly getting that much volume from something so small. That's great. Yeah, I'll definitely be looking at doing some orange amps in the new year. I don't know why I haven't done it. I always just end up finding something else to do or whatever. So yeah, stay tuned for that. No, that's cool. That's good to know. James says, a Kiesel's better than Fenders. They're just different, man. I prefer them. I think this is the best single coil guitar I've ever had. It's great. It's got it all. It's got the great tone. It's got a better neck than you'll find on Fender guitars on the most part. A roasted maple neck, beautiful satin finish, stainless steel frets before stainless steel frets were a thing. It's great. It's got the modern contours. It really depends on what you like. I love my Strat and Telecasters, but they don't play as well as this. This is in a different league. They feel like, the Strat actually feels probably more modern than the Tele I've got in terms of feel, but this plays so much better. It really does. It's got everything. A better high fret access, better tone. Yeah, it's I'm just like, I love their guitars. I think they're awesome. The sound in your video is really good. How many mics do you use? Well, it really depends on the video. Like, I'll use either the AA, and I always say what microphones I use in the videos. So yeah, I'm going to mix of mics. I'm a bit of a nerd. I got 57, E906, AA, N22 ribbon mics. I got Rode condensers, all kinds of stuff. For this video though, I'm just using this mic here. What is it? A 50 Shure SM7B. Not the V. Yeah, the V's going. 100% the V's going. The market in the US is not good for used equipment. Philip McKnight is holding on to a bunch of stuff, waiting for the market to recover. He probably, I don't know, man. If he wants to make the maximum amount of money, he can hold off and hold a bunch of stuff he doesn't play. But yeah, couldn't care less. I'd rather go to a good home now and just get it out the door and free up some space. I was saying this the other day that, like, I don't believe in having a wall of guitars you don't use behind you. Like, what's the point to make an extra $50, $100? Like, get rid of it if you're really serious about getting rid of it. And same in Australia. Like, I just sold my Kemper, and great amp, but I had to put it at a price that made me just go, oh, well, I'm taking a hit. But the trade-off is I've got a buyer that wants it. I want to sell it, and that's the best deal that I'm going to get. I'm happy to see it go. And do I regret selling it for a couple of $100 less than I thought I'd get for it? No. So yeah, it is what it is, man. I kind of feel like there's this unhealthy look at me mentality with a lot of channels with, all the guitars and 500 amps and stuff. It sort of doesn't really make people focus on, I think, the playing. It's like, look how much stuff I've got. I don't know, man. I've always felt a bit weird about that whole thing. That's just me, though. Right? It's not saying that there's anything to do, that it's wrong to do it or anything. It's just, I don't know, man. It's not for me. I just get a drink. I haven't watched Phil in a long time, but it's not to say that he has all this stuff on his walls. There's plenty of channels who like review a guitar. It might be worth $2,000. They plonk it on their wall and they never use it again. I kind of feel like that's a pretty shitty sort of situation for companies as well. Just to get a guitar to someone and they never use it again. Like I was saying this on my last live stream, I send stuff back. If I get to showcase something and they say, here, you can keep the guitar. I do my video. Behind the scenes, I'll end up sending it back to them. I've done that on a few occasions recently where stuff was sent out. I'm like, it's great, but I don't think I'll play it because of this. I've got these other guitars or whatever. It goes back. And I'd rather do that than just plonk it on a wall doing nothing. It's sort of, I don't know, man. I'm a changed man these days. I really don't think the consumerism push is for me. Like, I know I was part of that problem for years, reviewing stuff and testing things, but I also came from a live playing experience. A lot of people who just talk about stuff have no live playing experience, and they're pushing buy more stuff all the time onto people. And you probably saw how, I think, refreshing some of the recent content was, because it was completely different. And I want to do a lot less of that kind of stuff. And when I do showcase something now, it'll be something that's meaningful or at least a bit more interesting. I went through the phase of building the channel and trying to borrowing things off everybody and showcasing as much stuff as I could, but I've lost interest in caring about what's coming next. Even from the large brands, they're re-releasing stuff that was out 50 years ago, or they're changing one little thing. It's not good enough. It's just not good enough anymore. And it's sort of like, I don't really think, rolled fretboard edges are nice, but is that where everyone needs to go out? Oh, we're going to push this new thing you can buy another guitar, sell your old one, or whatever. I don't know. That's just me rambling. I think there's obviously still a lot of interest in gear, but it's more specific to certain things. And I've always hoped that my perspective was slightly different to a lot of people who do videos, because a lot of channels now, and I've tuned out from nearly all of them, they're basically carbon cutouts of everybody. Everyone's doing the same thing. So this year I'm going to be doing something completely different. Might not start straight away because there are a few of the regular videos left in the queue. But I really want to change it up. I've just had enough. And I don't want to quit doing YouTube. I really enjoy it. But I also want to start, like back when I was building the channel, I was pumped. I left my job. I was living on the limits for years. And it was inspiring to building it up and seeing it grow and all that kind of thing. But now I'm like, I'm stuck in this weird sort of treadmill of doing the same stuff, and it's time for a change. So this year's it. I'm done. You're going to see things change for the better. Can't you sell them part of your fee? Yeah, I can do that. Absolutely. But, and I do that as well. There's no problems with doing it. Mostly the pedals get resold, but when it's a guitar, there's, I've just got it and I know it's not for me. I'd rather just send it back. I mean, it takes me a day to put the video together. It's not the end of the world. It's just, it is what it is. Sometimes I hold on to stuff thinking I'm going to play it, and I hold on to it for a year or so, and then I don't use them. Like I got a few tube screamers. I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely going to be using that live. I want to test it out. And I still haven't done that. So I'm like, why have I got so much stuff? Anyway, Rag Production says it's not the size of the collection, it's how well hidden you keep it from the missus. Yeah, I bet. I don't know, man. I sort of feel like I just want to play. I want to enjoy playing music more. I want to really simplify the YouTube channel again, bring back some of the old school YouTube that seems to be, missing with all these like shitty clickbait crap videos from dudes who can't play. And I've detached myself from all of that world for so long, and it's been great. But now it's time to, I'm just going to say no to a lot of stuff at the expense of not being the first to review something anymore. I don't care. There's bigger and better things to be doing, and that's what I'll be doing very soon. I don't know about 500 amps, but I do recommend 2 amps. Doubles the sound. Hey, there you go. Yeah, absolutely. Amps are the most important thing. I've had this conversation with a few people who've asked me, hey, is the amp more important or the guitar? I'm like, most guitars are great now, even less expensive ones. They've got good pickups and all that. You get a great amp. It's the secret ingredient other than the hands. 100%. I can't believe the cricket's finished. Yeah, I don't watch the cricket, man. I'd fall asleep even sooner than people watching this. It took 4 years for Phil to pick my comment. Oh, on the light. Wow, far out, man. Yeah, you probably didn't pay him $30. Anyway, it is what it is. Isn't that how the podcasts work these days? Super chats, the only ones that get answered. Keep the gravy train going. Bedroom musicians with epic gear suck, man. Yeah. Well, everyone can like collect things. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're a collector, it's a different kind of thing too. But I don't know. I think because I've been doing this for so long, I'm checking out from the new stuff. It's the same stuff every year, with the exception of a few really unique things that I've seen come through. I'm like, how much longer do I want to keep doing the same thing and calling that like personal progress? It's just like not the case, right? Shay must get out of his horror acting chops. Involves new gear in a. Hey, yeah, well, there you go. I like that. That's great. I might have to give that a shot. That's great. Get out his horror acting chops. Okay, got you now. Involve new gear in a mini horror flick. The digital world is already overwhelming. Just look at UAD pedals. What opportunities do you see for the analog world in the future? I'm still an analog fan. If you're a live player, the analog stuff is still the best. There's no two ways about it. And anyone who tells you otherwise probably has a vested interest or a completely different opinion. Obviously, if you're a touring musician playing into a front of house PA system and they've got like a proper sound engineer and all that kind of stuff, you can get away with the digital gear. But in terms of like just plugged into an amp, you can't go wrong with analog effects. You can change things on the fly. You can make adjustments. It's stuff that's a lot harder on a lot of digital units for live playing use. But for the studio, the digital stuff is phenomenal. Would I ever consider using 2 amps at once? Yeah, I've done that a couple of times. Like I tried it for 2 gigs. The first gig was okay. So I had a Fender Bandit. I had a Fender Blues. What was it called? A Fender DeVille 212 at the back of the stage, turned around, cranked, right? It was a pretty big stage back in the day. I had a DI box splitting it. And I had my PV Bandit at the front facing the crowd. And that was fine. It sounded huge and it was great. But then I did a second gig where I had 2 Hot Rod Deluxe amps out. So I had 2 smaller amps at that time. And I kept getting electrocuted on the mic. Like it was like, oh, okay. So after that, I stopped doing it. There can be some pretty wild kind of like phasing or something that goes on where you get a lot of buzz on both amps. It's something to do with the earth of the venue or something like that, or the way you've got it kind of patched in. But yeah, I kind of, at the end of the day, it didn't really make enough of a difference for me. I ran one dirty, one clean, and it was fine. But I still prefer just being able to sort of crank on pedals on and off and all that kind of stuff. I settled on a Quilter Superblock US 57 setting because it does just what I need. Very good. Cool, man. I haven't tested enough of those. I'd like to test more of those at some point. Kind of interested in trying out a Bluto tone. They seem pretty solid for the tone. Yeah. I don't know if I feel like maybe I tried one of those. Maybe I didn't shoot a video. I can't remember. There's like 4,000 videos now, but yeah. I used my DeVille and a PV Classic 30 for outdoor gigs. That would sound, yeah, man, that's awesome. I think the DeVille might have one of the most underrated, legendary clean sounds ever. Like the 2x12 one. It's just really mighty. The 410s one's nice, but there's something pretty special about those 2x12 ones. They just got such a cool, like, they got this beautiful sound. Like, this is why earlier we were talking about Fender Twin. I thought the Holy Grail was a Fender Twin. I had a DeVille 2x12, and I said, all right, I'll get the Twin. I got it for a good price, and then I'll sell my DeVille. And then I played them side by side. I was actually recording an album at the time. I was like, man, the DeVille sounds way better recorded. Like it just to me, like for the sound that I liked. It had a more warm, modern, full, just beautiful sound with less cabinet rattle and all these things. And I was like, oh, that's disappointing. So after a little while, I sold the Twin, and I couldn't lift that friggin' Twin. It was so heavy. You ever try the Centavo? Yes, it's great. Yeah, the Warm Audio Centavo, we were talking about that before with the Warm Audio pedals. They're great. The Centavos, is the Centavo the Warm Audio one, or am I getting confused with Behringer? Is the Behringer one that one? I've lost the plot. It's the Warm Audio one, right? I could be wrong. Anyway, yes, if it's the Warm Audio one, it's great. It's on my smaller sort of pedal board that I use for just messing around when I just want a simple setup, essentially. Shane's tone is right there. Best live tone on YouTube. Hey, thank you, mate. I appreciate that. You know, some really great live players, but I was ranting a bit before. I just feel like I guess part of the other reason I'm getting sick of the whole gear space, it's like every channel does the same stuff. Like, hey, I bought the cheapest guitar on Amazon, and there's this face, in the corner or something. It's like, how many more of these videos do people need to watch? I don't know. I'm just like, I don't feel at all associated with doing that something like everyone's done. I don't know, man. Is anyone getting sick of that, or is it just me? The clean sound's amazing on the DeVille. Touch sensitive, super dynamic. You can, yeah, man. It's it's one of the best clean tones of all time. I think the super reverb's right there with it. They're probably the two best Fender cleans. And I would put my my PV Classic 50 right in there as well. Here's another little trick I've been doing. So over the 5, you've heard me play over the 4. I've been doing these little reversing stuff. Just little things like that. Just really, I know it's a kind of like it's a bit of a random thing to throw in. I just thought of it, but if you want to get out of the pentatonic thing, try changing the order of a few notes. Um, do I use a loop or a drum machine for practice? I usually just practice the backing tracks. I'm more inspired to just pull out random YouTube backing tracks. I got YouTube Premium, so there's no ads. You just play, and 30, 40 minutes of that, man, flying around the fretboard. It's more fun. You know, a lot of people say practice to a metronome or whatever. And I probably should do that. But if you're playing to a good album or a backing track, you can tell if you're on time. You can listen to a real drum track or at least a emulated real drum track, and it does a great job at improving your chops. So it also gives you context. You know, when I was working on that 251 turnaround thing, that like if you're in A, and how I got to remember how it goes. To the 4, I need to practice that to something. Playing it just over a click is good for timing, but it doesn't show you where to actually fit it. So if you play into a... So I butchered that, but the idea is that you're playing it in context. It really does make a difference, at least for me anyway. I don't think I'm no shining example of practice. I should have worked on things a lot harder earlier than I did. I actually put a lot of time in earlier on in my journey than I have in recent times, and that's going to change too. I think like the amount of effort that's going to go into my playing is going to go up, especially starting very soon. As soon as I get back from Perth, I want to just dedicate 30 minutes every day, 5 days a week at the minimum, to just like improving my chops and make time for it. It's going to be the first thing I do so I don't get caught up with all the other crap that goes on in the day. And yeah, it will make a massive difference. I was doing that for a little while not long ago, and I learned so much stuff, all just licks and ideas and things I wanted to sort of play, and I started getting them out in my playing, and then I didn't play for a while, and it's like, I still need to kind of do that. I still feel like it's a pressing urge for me now to get back to it. Hey, thank you, Ash Creek Studios. Appreciate it, man. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining in. Thank you so much. Sorry, I read in the same one. Frank says, do you like P90s? I think thinking back to all your videos and favorite guitars seem to be humbuckers than single coils and P90s. Yeah, you're right. P90s are good and they can be great, but all it takes is one really bad venue or dirty power or whatever it is. Or if you want to play with drive and then you got a lot of buzz already at the venue, they don't handle that very well. So I've always been about sort of the less noise, the better for me. I don't mind playing single coils if I know the setup's going to be fine, but you know, there's places I wouldn't take this guitar because the venue sucks. It would just be I'd be in a world of pain. So yeah, I tend to choose things now that are either humbuckers or single coils or sort of like noiseless variations on single coils. And you know, you could argue that some of the noiseless pickups don't sound as good or whatever, and I would agree with that to some extent. But yeah, it's they've gotten so good now that the net result is the same for me, at least, anyway. Yeah, it's Daniel says, how many more of these videos do people need to watch? Unfortunately, those videos still get heaps of views. Yeah, that's exactly right. But this is the thing, right? This is the cycle. Somebody does something, and then everybody does it, and then it just goes around and around every year. Like you'll see 100 of those videos from the same numbnuts next year. It's like, oh God, I don't know. And do they actually like? Obviously, it's for views, and that's fine. Everyone likes getting good views, but it just like the intrigue, I would assume, would be gone almost, right? Like, I don't know, man. Maybe I look at it in the wrong way. I'd rather share an experience with people now than share like, hey, look what I got, unless it was something that it was actually meaningful and that I'd been looking for it for a while, or I'd moved a whole bunch of stuff on and I was like, it's time to get something. I don't know. It's a guitar that it's just like landfill content, essentially. That's kind of how it feels. Oz Noise been inspiring for me to practice. Very cool. GRB says some really nice lefty guitars at the Rock Inn and other stores I've seen online. Man, the Rock Inn's a great store. I might actually pop my head in there while I'm away because that's a very cool store. They had one of the best. I think it was my old VOS 56 Les Paul. I bought it for like $4,000 many years ago. It was a lot of money back then, but it was also probably half the price that they'd cost now. So I got it used but unplayed. It was basically brand new. And at that time, I needed to get some dental work done. I still need to get this fixed next year, my other tooth. But yeah, I tell you what, that guitar is beautiful. It's really good. But again, I don't know. I don't need more stuff. Going around in buying circles is also a really easy trap if you like to move things on. Sometimes you think, oh, maybe I should get that again. So keep a list. Who are these numbnuts? Name and shame. No, it's all right. Mate, I'm not, I'm probably part of the problem with a lot of videos too. But I just feel like there's just this severe lack of anything that's really like interesting or meaningful or fun. It's just like garbage stuff you see on repeat. And then we're going to get flooded with NAMM videos and all the same people posting the same videos of all the new stuff with the new paint job. Everyone's like, you going to NAMM? You going to NAMM? I'm like, no, I don't think so. Would I be interested in going one year? Maybe. But at the same time, I'm like, I could be doing something else. Like that's completely different as a point of difference. So that's kind of where my head's at. That's how I feel. And that doesn't mean I'm going to be just shooting a demo in the room. It means I might actually be doing something else. And I think that's the way to kind of move forward now with YouTube. Just like forget about the assumptions or the expectations and do what you actually really want to do. Geez, I played that lick a lot today. Got to get out of G. Jacob says, do you still think of your old Fender Pro Sonic? I never had one. I had a Fender Twin from that era. But yeah, occasionally. But yeah, the Pro Sonics are really nice amps. The only one that I posted video of was from Found Sound on a Guitar Search Saturdays video. I didn't own that. It was just the shop's amp, and it was friggin' cool, man. Really cool amps. Another really underrated amplifier. No questions about it. Daniel, take it easy, man. Thanks for joining in. I appreciate it. Yeah. It's like anything you do, right? When it comes with, like, if you've been doing the same sort of stuff for years, you just want to change. And that's where I'm at. I want to just strip down all of the stuff in my life that isn't really serving any sort of value, just sitting around. I'll feel so much better doing this, like, simple kind of minimalist setup for what I do here. I'll keep what I need. I'll keep what I enjoy, and everything else can go. And I very rarely ever think to myself, man, I regret getting rid of something. Unless it's for financial reasons, because at the time I was struggling or whatever. I very rarely ever think, oh man, I got to go get one of them again. It doesn't really happen with guitars for me. So I've been fortunate enough to try so many different things, even as a lefty, and the stuff I've settled on is fine. It's great. And the next thing's not necessarily going to be any better. So yeah. Do I like germanium pedals? Yeah, I do. Yeah, they can sometimes have a little bit more attitude. The clipping sort of thing can sound a little bit different. I don't know if I've tested the Keeley Red Dirt, but I've tested quite a lot of pedals that have germanium circuits in there. Echo Tone. Yeah, I've got to try that as well. I'll don't worry, there'll be lots of cool stuff coming up this year. I'll make sure of that. Or just something different for a year. If it doesn't work, right? But you got to take chances. And the fact is, like, stuff I've been doing lately, there's not a lot of chances on the most part, and it's just the same tired stuff. And I feel that that's probably the reason why I don't watch a lot of other channels, because I make stuff, I see similar stuff on other channels, and I'm like, oh, this is all kind of the same. So yeah, we'll see what happens, whether or not it all goes ahead or not, or goes to plan. You can never plan things out perfectly, but the growth in terms of what I want to do, it's time. No questions about it. So yeah, I appreciate everyone sticking with me, because yeah, if you liked what you saw from Texas, then hopefully you'll like what you see coming up. As well as some new ideas too. So I'm not out of ideas. Hardcore Camping Gear says your guitar shop adventures were great editing too. Hey, thank you, mate. And it was so much fun. Like, you could see, like, my brother said he doesn't watch my stuff because he doesn't play guitar, but he's like, man, I could see how, like, pumped you were at the front of the store. It was Stevie Ray. And I was like, yeah, it was, like, so good. I was combining things I love, you know, music equipment, playing guitar, all that kind of stuff. I love going to guitar stores. That'll never change. And with travel, you know, blue skies, and yeah, it was so refreshing. It really was. It was great. Oh, the Supersonic instead of the Prosonic. Yeah. So I did have a Supersonic 60 and I had a 22. The 60 was killer. That thing was so good. That was one I kind of probably should have kept. At the time, I had a pretty bad back. I had a disc bulge or something like that in my lower back, and it was brutal. And getting that, it was either in or out of my car, was when it went, and I just went, I'm done. So I moved it on. Now I'd be fine, but back then it was pretty bad. We need a pedal, guitar, or gear exchange. Yeah, absolutely. That's a great idea. Seek a Truth Fuzz is my special clippy source dude. Very cool. Jacob says, I appreciate the live gig breakdowns. Hey, thanks, man. Hey, no worries. I want to do some more of that sort of vloggy live playing stuff when it happens. It doesn't happen as much anymore, but we're definitely going to be doing some cool stuff coming up. I'm going to have Dr. Rick hopefully in for a video early in the year as well. So we'll do some fun stuff. Jamal says, when you come back to Texas, we'll have a proper jam. Hopefully my chops will be improved. Nah, yeah, you just got to just keep plugging away, man. Yeah, don't be too hard on yourself either. Everyone's critical of themselves, and you know, I felt a bit out of sorts when I was at the store too, because the other guy was, you know, he was sort of like continually talking, and it was hard for me to play, or at least different to how it would be normally. So don't worry about it, man. We'll loosen up and have a good jam next time. Alternative tunings, I don't really use them. I feel like if I oh wow, how's this? I'll answer this first because it was here. So in terms of alternate tunings, there's not much I can do in terms of, I don't know how to use it to my advantage. I don't really want to learn how to adjust my playing to compensate for that. Hey, Matty K, far out, man. Look at this. 20 gift memberships. Holy crap. Hey, thank you, guys. Oh, thank you, Maddie, I should say. And all you guys are now, wow, look at that. Far out. I didn't even know that was a thing. Wow, how about that? Maddie, thank you. And yeah, there you go. So we've got all these new channel members. I'll have to post up something very soon now on the membership feed here. But it says Chileno. I guess you can see this, right? So Deville, oh man, all these all these usernames I can't pronounce. Why is it doing these @ things? It makes it so much harder. But anyway, there we go. That's killer. Thanks, mate. And thank you to all the new channel members. You got gifted from Maddie K. So drop a thumbs up in respect to Maddie K there. That's phenomenal. Thank you, mate. He didn't know either. Where is that option? I don't even know it was there. I see. Oh, maybe because it's my live stream, I can't see it. I just see super stickers or super chat. Because I'm the channel owner, I probably can't see the memberships. Well, that's crazy, man. That's amazing. Thank you. I've never used this super chat goal thing on the live streams. I don't think that that's kind of like a very good thing to have. But it'd be, that. I wish I could sort of pin the membership thing there. That's great. Anyway, awesome. Matty K is an MVP. So there you go. I'll make it up to everybody. I'll post a behind the scenes thing coming up very soon, talking a little bit more about kind of what's planned and all that kind of thing moving forward. Not too much about it, but yeah, I haven't actually completely told the members and Patreon crew and all that kind of stuff about the plans, but so you guys are, I guess, first knowing that things are going to change pretty quickly. Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to say thanks again for, I guess, everything, for helping me do this for so long online. And I know I haven't always been there with the live streams as much as I would like, because I keep pretty busy and I kept pushing them back. But I feel like part of the thing that makes the channel great is the community. And I always try my best to answer everybody here, unless it's a question someone wants some spilt tea. But, it is what it is. It's sort of, I appreciate you guys. And, I hope everyone has a great rest of the year. I've kind of probably going to make a move pretty soon. It's been an hour and 30 minutes, and I've been drinking a lot of water and caffeine, so I'm going to have a break. But, far out. That's a good high to end on, Matty K. Thank you, and all the best for 2026. And I hope you. Again, if I don't post much new stuff for the first 2 weeks, it's the last of the queue. A few probably other little things that will go up that's familiar, but then it's time for a change. So stick with me. I hope you enjoy it, and it's. Anything other than the same old stuff will feel refreshing, I hope. So thank you again, everybody. Thanks for all the super chats, support, comments, questions, likes, subscribes, 40 channel memberships here. Thank you, everybody. Take care. And if I missed your question, just leave a comment or question in the regular comment section. I don't mean to miss anything here, but that's kind of what I do. I'll reply to you as soon as I can. All right, guys, rock on. Have a great rest of the year, and I will catch you in 2026, unless another video goes up. But I'll catch you in 2026. All right, take care, guys. I just got to work out how to stop this. Where is it? All right, here we go. Go offline. 1, 2,